And now, make some noise because the time for talk is over. It's time to unleash the fury.
I was getting ready to play off of that.
We're on.
Are we live?
Check.
Yeah, we are.
Welcome to Fury Unleashed, the podcast. The time for talk is now. We're waiting on our fourth man, Rich Burmaster. He's busy rubbing one out.
Here he comes.
Hey,
There he
almost
is.
on cue.
Here comes.
Sorry, man. I had some janitor duties to take care of. As the janitor of Fury, it's not an easy job, guys.
Here comes Drew.
And then our guest this week, Drew Ratajczyk, making his way back into the scene.
Ratatails check.
Get in here, Drew. You got some nice apparel right there. You got a little merch.
It ain't that nice. They're supposed to be. I was supposed to have a salmon
As
color.
my daughter would say, the Fury
He's
merch.
doing one of that red shirt.
I know, he forgot to remind me. I told you.
Diego, you barely in that camera, Diego.
be there in a second.
Oh, look at him.
You want me to move over a little bit? Making my way down the hood.
Hey, guys, don't forget, today's podcast is brought to you, as always, by Howler Head Whiskey.
Howler Head
that-
whiskey.
If you can't get any head, make sure you get some Howler Head.
That's it.
That's a pretty... I don't know if that's the tagline they want.
Do they have a tagline? I don't think they have a tagline.
I don't know. I think it's Monkey Spirit or Bananas.
Juice.
Bananas going
Monkey
crazy.
Spirit. Hallerhead Monkey Spirit.
It'll bring the monkey out.
It was
of all of us.
delicious. I'll tell you that much. It's delicious. So,
Great stuff.
hey, so we are rocking and rolling, guys. Fury Amateur Series 38 just wrapped up just now, and man, again, we say this every week. This was an amazing event. This was a crazy show.
It really was, especially considering we lost a few fights. So
A few.
yeah. I mean, that's
How many
pretty
did we
lightly.
lose?
We started out like 15 or
6.
16, right?
Okay, so we lost 2 at weigh-ins yesterday. We lost 3 at weigh-ins.
3 weigh-ins.
And then, no,
Technically-
we lost 2 at weigh-ins.
Technically, we lost another one the next morning.
Who?
The replacement.
Yeah, that don't count. Does it count?
I mean,
It counts.
Most
counts.
unfortunate was losing the
We
main
lost
event.
2 at weigh-ins, and then we lost Mia's a little bit earlier in the week. And then prior to that, we lost...
Don't bang on the table. Diego hates that.
We lost Mia's opponent. We lost Spencer Sled's opponent.
Spencer Sled's opponent.
Yeah, we lost Turan's opponent.
We lost Spencer Sled. I don't think Drew heard that one. We lost Spencer Sled's opponent Thursday night. I did tell you that the guy was an exterminator. He got stung
Yeah.
by wasps.
Yeah.
How unfortunate, man. No, that was on Friday.
But dude, here's the thing.
That was on Friday.
You know what's the crazy thing is I think a lot of people don't, like when fans come out and watch the show, I don't think they have any idea, what these guys are doing because let's be honest, the average human doesn't say, I'm going to take my spare money and my spare time and I'm going to run to a gym and get into a fist fight with my best friends. Yeah, but well, I mean, they pay to go to a gym to get punched in the face. Right. Then they pay to do medicals and then they go out to the show. Now, in all fairness, this may sound like I'm being a bit of a homer, but they're getting an opportunity when they get on your show.
A bit of a what?
Yeah.
Oh, home. It's the right.
No, but look, hey,
Just checking.
but here's the thing. In all fairness, so I've known all you guys, but I've known Eric, back since he was an amateur fighter, since we were blue belts and everything. So I've known you for a long time. So when you started a promotion, I was like, cool, I'm in. But you were a fighter, so you knew what made matches. And didn't I say back then that you were making the best matches? I'm talking when the show was brand new. It was on nobody's radar. But anyway, where I was going with that is these guys do get an opportunity, but they're doing stuff on a daily basis. Like I had one dude he's working diesel maintenance out in the field, out of town, and so people don't necessarily realize what they have to overcome just to even get in the cage. He did fight tonight. He won by knockout, actually. Yeah,
Byron, right?
Byron Wells. Yeah.
Hey, Drew, to speak of something you just brought up, man, like you've been around this game for a long time. I think I've known you since, I don't know, mid 2000s. I don't know. I don't know
06 or 07. Yeah. For sure in 07.
Because we were both training together back then. But what I want to know is we've been told some stuff this week about how different our Fury Amateur Series is compared to other amateur events. And it's almost like it seems they're almost like mini pro shows to a certain degree. And as a coach, do you get that feeling like it's different to prepare for a Fury versus a different amateur series?
Hey, are we running an ad here? Who's taping?
Yeah.
No.
Speaking, yes.
But look,
When we say that, I mean,
Okay.
as far as as
I'm
far as
messing with y'all.
competition.
I'm messing with you guys. So, So let me give you a two-pronged answer.
Okay.
So I've been a fan of Fury because of the matchmaking. Myself as a previous fighter and a coach, but also more important to me is the interaction because I don't like being jerked around. So that's a big deal, especially to me. And I'm sure it is to other people too, but definitely is to me. So I've liked that, but there's been an evolution. There's been a change, but I think as martial artists, we're always supposed to be growing, right? Like, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like we're supposed to be, if we actually do what we espouse to be about, we're supposed to be striving to be better every day. So yeah, you've taken that I think as a black belt, that's something that you have taken on, like you understand what it means to get a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So you understand how to keep making the show better. Now it's a Fight Pass show, and the amateur shows are pretty much very similar to
They're an extension of
televised.
that pro show, right?
They are. What did I tell you the other day on the phone? I said,
Stop
it's
sending me dick pics.
Oh, you told me a lot of shit.
hey, let me ask
me a
y'all.
lot of
Hey,
shit,
let me
man.
ask y'all a question. When you see my number ring, do y'all click silent
Oh, no,
and
never.
tell your
No,
wife
I
I'll
just-
get that later?
I just
because
have-
I ain't got that time. I ain't got that kind of time
If I
today.
see
You
if
have
I
to have
see
a-
you call me, there's two things I have to take consideration. How much time do I have?
There you go.
How much time do I have for this phone call? And
I got time. If I'm calling you, I got time.
yeah, exactly, because I know you have time. So I got to figure out how much time do I have, and
If the waiter said your
Can it
food will
wait?
be here in 20 minutes, would you take the call?
Probably not.
no,
I probably would. And I actually looked at that the other day, like, me and you.
If you're waiting, your kids are going to be out of grade school in 23 minutes. Would you take the call?
no. If I have nothing to do behind the conversation, for sure, I'm on that call all day.
100%.
Like I think Drew, I've reached out to you before, just between us, man. You're a guy that I've known a long time, admire, and look up to a lot of things that you've accomplished, man. I love it, and I love you, man. And so when you call, it's very much. I'm like, I want to take this call, but do my kids got to eat. My kids got to eat. So
There's 24 hours in a day.
Slap me for talking too long.
An honest question, because I know all four of you guys. An honest question. There's 24 hours in a day, right? If I'm calling you, do you ever ask yourself the question, do I want a 23-hour day? Is that do I want
I've never asked
to have
myself that question.
Because it's going to be a 45-minute call, not an hour, right?
Yeah. Now, I mean, if you call me and I'm with my wife, she'll be like, "Oh Lord, Drew's gonna call. You're gonna talk a long time. Are you ready to talk a long time?" That's what she tells me, and I'm like, "I'm ready to talk, babe."
Hey, Chrissy, did you hear that?
Shout out to Chris.
hey, shout out to Christy.
Yeah.
I don't know how she does it, to be honest with you.
How does Chrissy
Does
do
she
it?
put time limits on your conversations? Like if an argument starts, is she like, dude, you have 2 minutes
I'll give
to
you
make
guys.
your
Okay,
point?
that's a fair question, and then we'll get back to the Fury show thing because I
Right.
want to wrap that up. But no, that's a fair question. So let me give you guys an example. Let me answer that by telling you this. Do you guys have 45 minutes? So there I am. I'm sitting there. I'm in the office, right? Yeah. And I'm on the phone. I don't remember who I was talking with. So Chrissy, my beautiful fiance, for those that don't know, Chrissy comes over. So she knocks on the door to my office. She tells me, hey, you need to wrap it up because remember, you got a thing, in 15 minutes, or whatever. So I flush and I stand up and I go right out the door. I listen to what she says. That's the point.
Yeah.
Come on, that's a joke.
Is that it?
I'm on the toilet. That's the joke. I'm in the.
That's
Okay,
the
it's-
punchline.
that's it. All right.
Hey, you set
I'm gonna-
the bar really high though. We were expecting like the
Hey,
toilet joke and
get-
then another payoff.
No, get Barry Lamanick in
For
here.
the follow-up.
Yes.
Get Barry
Always
Lamanick
follow-
in here. I need to
follow.
consult with him on my stand-up routine. It's not good enough. Hey, have you guys ever listened to him? Have you guys ever been to one of his shows?
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Have you been to it?
He's changed so much as a comedian. It's
Dude,
amazing. He's great.
So do you remember when he said, I'm going to go start doing open mic nights like, I don't know,
Yeah.
60 years ago or whatever, right?
Right.
How old
And
is Barry? Is he 50, 60?
Barry's 53, 54. Yeah.
58, I think.
Something like
maybe?
that. He's in that
I would
range.
like to
He
film
wears
his
it well. You
ne-
never would guess
Netflix
for sure.
special.
Dude, you should. But here's the thing. Okay, so when it started, I remember listening to some of his jokes and I remember thinking,
I can do this.
But he actually asked for feedback. You remember that? He was like,
He
"Tell me
did.
what you think." So
He
I was
did.
like, "You suck." And
did.
then, but he didn't suck. He was actually.
Hey, how about at one point his best
This
joke?
dude-
I don't want to tell his joke, but his best joke was about him jogging and some lady clapping for him because she was like, "You can do it,"
Dude.
and he's like,
dude? This guy, yeah, that was a good one.
that was one of his
But
best
dude,
jokes.
Barry's stand up is fucking awesome, man. But they closed the place he used to play or do or whatever you call it when you're a comic down by my house, and I don't like to travel far from home.
Is that by Bayou City Wings around there?
I don't know, but it's by the Beltway in 45.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, so they closed that one. Barry used to come there and do the thing, and fucking it was. I used to love going there to watch him do it, but now I can't drive any farther than that. So
Okay, let's go back to
Fury.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah,
Give me
no,
my
it's
two-part answer.
Fury amateur series compared to other amateur shows.
So, but because now everybody's going to be like, oh yeah, whatever, you're on the Fury show, you're wearing the Fury.
No,
t-shirt.
hold on.
But
Let me go.
I know how to qualify it.
So when we say that, listen, I don't expect somebody coming straight in to be a promoter or promote shows or do anything to be at the level that we're at. I don't expect that. If they do, man, hats off. Because I've worked 12 years for it, to build the production, to build the team that we have. I mean,
You can't though. It takes time.
shout out to Diego over here. He just did the stream for the whole Fury Amateur Series event. Then he came in here and he
all
set
this
up for the podcast.
Which you can't see.
My son too.
His son
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
Diego Jr.
son,
The cheek.
yeah.
I'm gonna call him the cheek clapper from this time. We'll talk about that later.
Hey,
Hey, and then we got the house, and then Diego came in here, drank Hallerhead, got everything set up. But I mean, so there's levels to it, and I encourage whoever wants to get into this, man. It's not easy.
there's no barrier to entry if you could do
Well,
it
no,
better.
no. There's
give
some
it a shot.
there is clearly some barriers to entry, and that barrier will be your pockets.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
your imagination and your wallet is as far as you're going to go.
It's
So,
hard.
I,
man.
I was borrowing a line from Uncle Dano whenever,
Hey,
whenever it
okay.
comes
But-
to him about fighter pay and hey, there's no barrier to entry. If you can
Hey, I can
pay
tell
more,
you.
by all
I
means
can
do
tell
it.
you with the group of guys we have sitting here right now, we can all
We're
probably,
over 1,000 pounds.
We can all probably easily think of 5 to maybe 10 different promotions we've seen since we've been involved in the game who shot up and went out right away.
Right.
So it's not
So-
easy to maintain this level.
So here's how I can make it look and be very unbiased. So the conversation we had the other day on the phone when I was in the office, the aforementioned office, I said it's a very difficult thing. The competition level has gone up a long way, and for some of the amateurs, they're not going to become. They're not trying to get to the UFC. For
Right.
some of them, it's a bucket list thing. Some of these guys have families and shit like that, and they're just they want to fight. They want to test themselves. They do not want to go to the UFC. They don't think they will go to the UFC, but the competition level has become very fucking difficult. Do you remember what we were talking about? We were talking about the regional guys, and we knew who owned the scene, but as soon as the show went worldwide and started bringing in people from not only around the nation, but outside of the country,
Right.
the level suddenly went. So you take a guy like Nico Echeverry.
Right.
The guy, I believe he could be competitive. Some of you guys might understand why I'm saying this, but he could be competitive in the top 10 in the UFC tomorrow. I don't think it's easy to run through him. Nobody's ever run through him. Nobody. But all of a sudden he had competition, whereas he didn't before. It was like a foregone conclusion. If he was on the card, he could beat everybody on the card, no matter what weight, and it was going to be over. Anyway, point was, yes, it's gone up. It's got difficult because it's become a feeder program where you got pro level fighters. Look at that kid that won the title tonight, Hayden Briers.
Yeah.
Look at how that kid
Kid's
fights.
good, man.
You know what I mean? I mean that kid's a talent.
He's a buzzsaw.
Look at the debut guys. Look at the guys that are coming out and debut. And some of these guys, a lot of the guys on the amateur shows are like they're fighting like pros.
That Augustine Ramirez and Trent Soto fight, that 125ers, the one that came from Dallas, Trent, and then Augustine came from Bob's Gym in Main Street. Dude, those dudes were back and forth. That could have been an undercard pro fight. And these guys are amateurs, man.
And it could have been a main card on a lot of promotions, honestly.
It could have.
Well, yeah.
But this isn't to say, I mean, dude, you guys, and I mean collectively, have worked really hard to get here.
Right.
It's not like something that happened, in 24 months or something.
No. Well, that's what I'm
honest,
saying.
I have not really done that much. I sit to the back and make sure that
He does a lot.
I
He does a
try
lot.
to make sure that the floors are clean, that everyone's got a drink, and
Great
that
pictures of the ring
and that
rolls.
Wayne knows what sponsor to say when. That's it. That's it.
But in all seriousness, we're not asking you that to put down any other promotions. Or
No, I know you're
anything
not,
like
because
that.
we've known each other for
Right, dude. We're not asking that. We want to know what it is because we want to continue to do things the right way, and we want to continue to build amateurs up and give them a platform to shine. Are we deterring amateurs from fighting for us because they think that the competition is too much, or do you think it encourages them to say, "Hey, let's go fight for Fury because we know we're going to get the best of the best.
That again is two answers. Yeah, yes, you're deterring some amateurs from fighting for you.
Whoop that trick.
Get them.
Had it queued up. Go ahead.
No. That's a real thing because
Copyright issue. We can't play that.
It's a real thing, for sure.
we can sing it. No, that's a real thing because that's a discussion that people have,
Right.
And something that as a responsible coach you have to think about too.
Right.
But I wouldn't say it necessarily means that there's less. I would say that it means that the light, it's kind of like having a flashlight. You can shine it on something or shine on something else. I would say it's moved, because you're probably going to draw in amateurs that would have never considered traveling for an amateur fight.
That's a great point.
And to a point that now they will just to get on the amateur roster because that gets you in on the pro card. You see, it's a different thing. Yeah. So, yes, it's going to deter some people from fighting. Also, it's probably going to entice some people who would say, I'm not driving from fucking, I don't know, are there other states besides Texas? Wherever,
Man, we fly.
There's like 2 others.
Mexico or Canada.
But
right?
we have flown amateurs. We've flown amateurs in. We fly amateurs in now to compete and to fight. And exactly what you just said, if you fight on the amateur circuit for us, your chances of getting on a Fight Pass undercard and then eventually turning pro and getting a 4-fight deal and going, the chances are very, very, very good.
I think again, what I think separates us when I look at other promotions, again, our job is to create talent for the UFC. End of story. That's our job. So by default, we have our pro shows that feed the UFC, and we have our amateur shows, which help us find future pros. So if you hold a title belt with Fury as an amateur, more than likely, we're going to sign you as a pro. We're going to want to keep you on as a pro. And if you hold a belt for us as a pro, you're going to the UFC. Like, we don't have a title that doesn't go to the UFC right now.
If I go out and hold one of those belts, am I going to the UFC?
You're in.
If you can beat a title holder, you're the guy.
I can
as
beat
thin as the heavyweight division is, probably.
So speaking of the heavyweight division,
I can beat the current.
Will you fight Juan Adams?
I can beat. The.
Did you see?
No,
his
he's on the
announcement?
PFL.
Yeah.
I can beat the current heavyweight
That's
champ
awesome.
because he doesn't exist. Right?
Well,
He doesn't exist. Good job. Yeah.
our current heavyweight champ just got picked up for contenders, Austin Lane.
Okay, I was gonna say. I was just talking about Austin the other day. I don't know much about him, right? But I was saying Austin's a guy I think you should build because he's got the look, the appearance. He has that type of fight that people want to see.
Have you followed him at all? Like he was in contenders.
Oh, I haven't followed him. No.
Yeah, he went
to Hardy.
Greg Hardy.
So he played in the NFL, and then he went to contender. Got in the MMA, went to contenders, did very well. Lost to Greg Hardy, came out and
won 4 in a row, right?
Won 4 in a row, won our title. And to be fair, he's had other opportunities to go to the UFC let's say he's had other opportunities to go back to Contender Series, and he was waiting, hoping to get like a short call up.
Right.
And for those who know Mick, if Mick gives you an opportunity, it's there. You need to take it, right?
Take the opportunity. Then. I think Sean is the same way. I would think, I can't speak for them, but I would think that they're the same way. When you call a fighter and you ask and you give them an opportunity, if they say no, like what makes you want to call them back?
Yeah. It doesn't, but the way it worked out perfectly. Juan's going to vacate our title. Juan, Austin is going to vacate the title. He's going to go now and fight on Contender Series
in September.
And again, we wish him the best of luck and hope to see him.
He does well.
Hope to see him take it. And I tell you what, the Austin leaders showed up to beat Juan. Will beat whoever they put in front of him.
Yeah.
He
won't beat Drew.
No. He ain't going to beat me because I won't get in there with him.
Oh, okay.
So, easy solution to that one.
There's 2 things. Last week we talked about favorite MMA moments in Texas. One was I was setting up for a podcast, the streaming, when I looked at the tail of the tape and I see him in like 7 of those pictures.
Oh, Drew?
Yes.
Oh, that's a Mike Jackson doing. When they would put you on when the guy didn't have the picture.
Make way.
And it was Drew.
My old hairy chest in my belly.
And that was without my consent.
Oh.
And that's without consent is something that's a serious business from what I hear lately.
Business, man.
All right, moving on.
No. Hey,
let Drew continue. Go.
So that brings me to a story. No, I'm just kidding. So
45 minutes.
let me ask you a question. When's your food coming? No more gunshots, Eric. No more gunshots.
Hey, once again, this drink break is brought to you by Howlerhead Whiskey. Make sure you follow our amazing sponsor, Howlerhead Whiskey, a banana flavored whiskey. It's absolutely amazing. Also, before we keep going, guys, to shout out some of our other sponsors at Space City _collective on Instagram. Check them out. Sheath Underwear. The guys over at Bump Box. Make sure you, please, Kimura Tattoo Company. Man, Ronnie Byerly is putting out some amazing artwork. Please go check him out. And of course, Official Clean Athlete. Check them out. Amazing sponsor that we have that takes care of all of our sanitation and disinfectant needs there in the cage. Drew, you're beautiful, man. I don't know if you know that.
You never let Drew finish his 2-part answer.
I gotta make sure the sponsors get taken care of, baby.
Speaking of
The first part takes 20 minutes. So I mean,
well, speaking of the
Burmaster's gotta
Kimura tattoo, Rich is going in for the
Fury neck tattoo.
Fury neck tattoo next week.
Yeah.
Where's he going to get it?
Neck.
Where on the neck? The neck's 360 degrees.
Right, how about right here?
Oh, across
the
the
voice
Adam's
box.
apple.
Hey,
Like this,
listen.
tall to thin to tall. Like,
Hey, that
Hollywood
tattoo is gonna earn this man 7 figures a year working for Fury.
But where's the decimal?
Don't know. Yeah, where is the decimal?
$7.00000.
0.7.
Hey, so before we keep going, let's talk about some of these performances that we saw tonight. Arlton Audrey defeated Arturo Tanguma for the 155
Good
title.
fight.
What usually a lot of the grappling battles that you see, you have a leg humper.
They usually suck.
They usually suck.
There was a lot of action.
This was a very entertaining match. And Drew, you're very familiar with Alton as well. Like he trained out of your school for a little while, correct?
I'm not familiar with Arlton, but I'm familiar with Boomer. There
He's
we
for-
go.
Arlton, does he go by Boomer anymore?
He goes by Boomer every chance you get. If you call him that, he'll answer.
Oh, my bad.
So anything that kid does is going to be entertaining. It wouldn't matter if he's filling up his car at the gas station. He'll spin around, pull the hose around his leg, lift it up, jump over it, put it in the tank, fill it up. He'll have the gas pump confused. It won't know that he didn't even pay it until after the fact.
If I would have known that Boomer was a nickname for him, we could threw that
Hey,
in
speaking of gas, for a guy with his type of physique, like he's got a lot of muscle on him, he does not get tired.
Never. And
I
he's
was
also got heart.
surprised. He expended a lot of energy in the first round. I was surprised to see him carry that through the rest of the fight, like all 5 rounds.
Take this over
his cardio is insane.
He's got a motor.
Yeah,
Kid's
he
got
does,
a motor.
man.
You know what? So the kid he fought is a 45er.
Yep.
He went up to 55. He's fought at 45 a couple times for us, or quite a few times for us.
Well done, Rich.
He wants to make his way down to 35. And Arturo, Tanguma's, he's young.
He's going
athletic.
the opposite direction. If he went from 45 to 50.
He's like, I'd like to go down
Right.
to 35.
Dude, no.
Does 55 come next?
Let me know when you're 55.
He did go the opposite direction, but
How's that kid doing on math this year?
the armbar that he had Boomer in the first round, dude. Me and Wayne were sitting right there. We're like, if he would have hung on to it for a little bit longer,
Boomer's not going to tap to that.
would he have let his arm snap?
Yeah.
That's the way it was
Dude.
looking.
But here's the
It
thing.
was stretched out. Somebody got a picture of that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But here's the thing. He's tough to the point where it's detrimental for himself.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fighters you have to push. He's one of the ones I've had to pull back
Boomer.
in the past. Yeah.
He fought for us under your banner how many times? You remember? 2?
3, I think.
2 or 3?
3 times.
He took a short notice, a weight class up or something, I thought. Did he?
He did.
Probably. Sounds like him.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, he's a wild man. He's a wild man for sure.
Oh, Boomer.
You guys are talking about MMA.
we do that here. Yeah.
That's the thing.
Have you guys ever seen MMA outside of the cage? I think some people call it street fights.
Hey, let's finish on this card first.
Hey, also in the card, Hayden Bryars defeated Luis Rodriguez by another nasty guillotine choke. His
That's
last
2 in a
two
row.
fights, this kid has fought maybe 35 seconds. It feels like 35 seconds. I know it was
like,
second
yeah.
round with the Michael White fight. Two submission victories. Both guys almost identical. Slumped them down against the cage, putting them out. That was super nasty.
And he came up to me after. He's like, dude, I don't even feel like I fought tonight. Like, I'm ready.
It lasted 19 seconds.
He's like, I'm ready to go back again. He's like, I didn't expect a fight like that. I knew this kid was going to shoot. And he told me that he defended the choke really well. And he's like, man, I just readjusted and it stayed in and it was too late.
Dude,
for him.
It was
Three
so
and-
early. They weren't sweaty yet. If they
That's what he said.
if
That's
they
exactly
would've
what he
been
said.
Sweating, I think it would have been a different story.
He said we were dry.
Maybe he gets out of it, but it was so early in the fight. Which I mean,
He's
hats
three.
off to Hayden Bryars.
He's now 3-0 with 2 title fights. So we'll see what's next for him. I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's going to turn pro just yet. I do think he needs to kind of grow into his body a little bit more. He's a very young
old is
guy.
he?
Like I don't know.
He's like 20,
12?
15, 16, yeah.
something like. He's like 19 or 20, right?
Yeah, 19.
He's somewhere
20,
in that
I think.
range,
Yeah,
but he's
very
he's-
young.
No, but he is young. Huh?
Yeah, he's with the guys out there at
He's
war.
20.
They're going to make the best decision for him and let us know when it's time for him to go back out there again. But also, the next fight, man, congratulations to your guys, Drew. Byron Wells. Crazy power that he generates in some short punches, man.
He's a 45er, really.
No.
Yeah, he is.
He needs to bring a little less muscle to that cage.
No, he's a 45er, for real.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Looks like a middleweight, man.
this kid goes. So
45, July 17th? Yeah, okay.
it's
cool.
going to depend on his work. So for this, his fight camp for this fight, he asked me for so he's putting in the time. He's in the gym. He's working hard. He's in there daily. He asked for the fight, so I submit his name. You guys put him on the card, and then his company says we're working out of town now.
Oh, man.
And so he goes out of town, and he comes back in Friday nights after we're done training. He gets home 9, 10 p.m., whatever it is, smelling like diesel fuel, being out in the oil field, doing his thing, like doing maintenance or whatever. And then Saturday morning, he gets up and does sparring. Sunday, he gets up and spars, and then he gets in his car and he goes back out there. This kid's entire camp consisted of that. But you know what he did? He delivered as a man.
He did well.
So win, lose, or draw, he didn't let excuses get in the way of showing up. And I think a lot of people, this is something that's lost on a lot of people when they fight, is let's stop talking about the fight for a minute, especially at the amateur level where it's not a prize fight because there's no prize on the line, right? It's practice. That's what it is by definition. It is an amateur bout.
Right, exactly.
And let's remember that, I'm speaking about this as a man from this perspective. Of course, there's women that fight. But you make a commitment to do something. As a man, it's one of those things that you like to see people follow through on, period.
Right.
Like you say, okay, I'm going to do something, fucking do it, right? Like whatever that thing might be. And that's a much deeper issue than just whether or not you win or lose. And if you lose in the amateurs, let's be honest, like it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It really doesn't matter.
The only thing that hurts is your ego. I mean,
Right. It really doesn't matter. Now, I know
pride.
people might say, yes, there's risk of injury, there's all that.
Honestly,
of course, the refs stop the fights.
It doesn't matter if you win in the amateur.
It also doesn't matter if you
It doesn't
win.
matter.
What you want, honestly, is you want to fight like what Byron had.
Right.
If you're going to have a debut, have a tough fight that goes
That's it,
most of
man.
3 rounds, and then you get the finish in the 3rd round where it's a contentious fight, and who knows how the judges were going to see it, right?
Right.
And so that's a great fight to have. But what that kid did is he didn't just show his fighting ability, as a rookie, but he showed what he is as a man by showing up. He made weight. He started cutting weight, and he's calling me saying, it's hot out here in the sun. I'm only drinking X amount of water. He brought a scale out there. He's making weight. He's putting a scale down.
That's
in the
incredible, man.
Weighing in. He got in at
no
like
doubt.
10:30 at night. He said, I figured y'all would be home by now. I can't use the sauna, so I kept the heat on in my car. He put on trash bags inside his car and drove all the way back into town. Then
That's
he comes in the
commitment,
morning,
man.
he makes weight like a man. He makes 0 excuses. He gets in the cage like a man. He fights, and he gets the victory. But even if he didn't win, it wouldn't have changed the pride that I have for him because that was some
Nor
man
should
shit
it.
to handle business. He made a commitment. He followed through.
Hey,
and
now,
we talked about that
Yeah.
win or lose, how Drew is with his guys, right?
Right, 100%. 100%.
We talked about that on a podcast.
And-
I know you
last
don't listen
week.
to our podcast,
Last
but we
week.
did
You
talk.
should. You should.
That's because I don't have any attention span to listen more than like 15
you know,
minutes
and
unless I'm talking.
that's something, Drew, that you and I are alike in a lot of ways. We've been around each other so long,
both
training
balding.
together, both bald, incredibly sexy men. But I also tell all my amateurs,
Both over 200
I
pounds.
don't care if you win, I don't care if you lose. It's all the small things that go into the
100%,
fight
man.
that matter as an amateur. Now, to speak to that, before I get to this next part where I made a mistake tonight that I have never made in working in MMA, I'm gonna talk about that in just a
first
second.
mistake?
No.
Yeah, I never made this mistake. I made many mistakes. Shout out to my guys at LFA. So I want to
Shout out to his first marriage.
shout out to my first marriage. But I want to
Shout out
speak
to the
to Drew.
shoes I bought that were too
Drew,
small.
this week for us on the matchmaker side was extremely frustrating.
Oh, dude.
We lost so many fights, and I know
welcome.
you personally, Drew, had fighters out of your gym that weren't able to, for whatever reason, they had to pull out this week, and that is very rare for you and your gym. Can you kind of speak to, as the coach, owner, manager over there, how does that affect you? How does that feel? Because you have a reputation for, as you said, your guys are men, ladies, whatever you want to call them. They step in and they make the weight and they make the walk.
And to speak on that real quick, I've been working with Drew for 12 years, you know, and he's always put guys in on every card. I call him, hey, what do you got? Who do you have? He sends me a roster, and the dudes show up. Shit happens, right? I mean,
Yeah, last couple. Guys, we're a little gun shy because earlier these cans were exploding outwards, cutting fingers,
Literal
almost cutting fingers off.
gunshots.
We had 2 people injured.
Yeah, there was 2 people injured.
I'm missing a finger.
Where's the Texas
that the
Hammer
good
right now?
finger?
Where's the Texas Hammer to get paid for what you deserve? Come get paid.
Maldillo.
All right, so I speak a little Espanol. I heard what you're saying down there.
Pina chamoy? I don't know.
Hey, it's real frustrating when guys have to pull out.
Tell me about it.
That's what she said.
It's frustrating as a coach.
Hey, shout out to Dirty Lad.
And it's like you don't like it. You don't like it, for sure. But
Nobody likes it.
I would say, I'll put it this way. I think she likes it. So, moving right along. So,
hey, well,
Diego, you're going to have to edit some of this out, Diego.
if we were we're rolling live.
So
If we were to go back over the
wrong.
years,
This
as long
is
as
wrong.
as long as Fury's existed, as long as ACS has put fighters in Fury, the number of short notice fights we've taken versus the number of pullouts we've had is not even close.
So-
The number of times that our guys have stepped in, whether it was 1 week, 2 week. I give the example with Nico Echeverry for those that are listening, don't follow or whatever. Nico Echeverry, my team captain, pro fighter, UFC level fighter for sure.
Yeah, he's marketing.
And he is. I have zero questions about
Former
that.
Fury FC champ.
If they call Nico up at 170 or 155 on short notice, who's ever run through him? That's the question I have. Who's ever clowned him? Who's ever made him look like anything?
There was a period that Nico, and I'm not saying that it's gone because he can come back and start it all up again. But there was a period.
Well, y'all's competition level went up. You went national.
Yeah, but he was on fire, like fighting for us, and then
head kick knockouts.
That's what I'm talking
Yep.
about. Aaron Reeves, Derek Adjade, Steve Jones.
Yep.
I know he didn't win the Gleason cutest fight on
But he did
paper.
win it.
He did
but
win
dude,
that fight.
He beat his ass.
Dude, that was a scrap.
Yep.
Like, and Nico was picking up the momentum and trying to finish. Somebody was trying to survive.
Yep. That was a short notice fight Nico took.
But I feel
on
like
a
that
week's
was
notice.
that a different Nico, or is that, or you?
No, but remember, y'all went nationwide. You on Fight Pass now, and you started flying people in. So it's like he's not just fighting guys from Houston or from Texas. He's fighting guys from all over the world now.
Right.
But you know what? And
But listen,
once again,
that's when you realize, am I ready for the next level, or do I need a little bit more time here to evolve and see how I can do with this competition?
look at his last fight. He fought Anthony something.
Anthony
The kid from
Romero.
Canada. Yeah.
Anthony Romero.
So,
Anthony Romero will probably be going to the Contender Series.
Yeah,
this-
the genius.
this season, yeah.
Yeah, and so he fought Anthony, and obviously I'm a biased, voice, so you have to take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt, but don't, because I'm pretty level-headed. So he fought Romero. So a lot of people don't know about what was going on in Nico's personal life at the time, but the kid, came into the fight and put on one of his worst performances. And if you look at the basic things, like look at small things, like the fact that he didn't hip in when when Anthony dropped for a double leg. You look at basic things that we've seen Nico do for a long time that he wasn't doing because his mind wasn't in the game. You're entitled to have a bad night at the office or whatever. Now, I'm not trying to take away from Romero. I'm trying to increase Nico's value. Romero is an excellent fighter, no question. That being said, Nico would love the rematch, and I don't think he'd take it. Which I understand why. He already beat Nico, so why would he take it? But I'm just saying, if it's an easy enough fight, go get another W. But that's Nico. Nico
That's how
wants
I
to
feel about
rematch
it, too.
everybody that's ever beat him. He wants to
Right.
rematch anybody and everybody that's ever beat him. That's his mentality, and that's all that's all he wants. He's a pure competitor. He doesn't talk. He's not an entertainer. He wants to win. He's a pure competitor.
Well, let's be clear. Nico will talk about some nerdy shit, and
I would- no, I don't-
if you want to talk to
I
Nico
hang up
about
the phone.
Dungeons and Dragons or equations, the guy is hilarious.
Or dad
I
jokes.
really enjoyed talking with him about some just really nerdy crap. And one of the, and man, it says almost your entire team, Drew. Again, I'm not trying to like just pump you up. I am, but your entire team kind of is very symptomatic of you. You know, they're great people who work hard, who fight hard. You know, I remember going back when you won the old school plug USACA Heavyweight Championship from Mr. Paul Hogan's. Oh, I'm sorry, Mick Maynard's organization. And I want to say,
golden throat charmer.
Is my memory wrong, or weren't you sick?
Who'd you fight?
You were sick, right?
I fought Josh Booty. So, hey, can I tell y'all something?
Booty Man?
Josh Booty, the Booty Man from Louisiana.
Yeah.
So I fought Josh Booty for the USACA heavyweight title. And when I fought him, I won. He was stronger than me. He threw me on the ground, all that, and I ended up submitting him.
And what year was that? You remember?
2009 or 2010.
God, we're so old.
So,
God damn it, yes.
hey, but here's something that's interesting about mixed martial arts. So when people
I
watch,
debuted in 2010.
I think when people watch mixed martial arts on TV, they don't know what's representative of the majority of mixed martial arts. You have to remember, you go in the cage, they close the door, and you get into a fist fight with a man with whom you have no problem. He didn't slap your sister. He didn't steal your mama's purse. All that happened is you arbitrarily agreed to fist fight him at this location at that time. And so now here you are in the cage, and you're going to fist fight this man potentially to the death. I mean, we don't get that far, God willing, but literally, I mean, if you don't let go of a rear naked choke, that's it, right?
Right.
So Josh Booty fights me, and the kid, you know, if he'd had more cardio, thank God he didn't have more cardio, because he probably would have whooped my ass. But so I fight this kid, and I win the title, and the hurricane comes, Hurricane Harvey. You remember it?
Right.
This is the kind of things that really happen at the real level. Sure, you got some guys that are mad. Sure, you got some guys that don't, you know, they got their personas, whatever. But at the real level, the hurricane comes, ACS, my gym, it floods.
Oh, man.
Josh lives in Louisiana, where he had been through that, where his house had flooded, and they had
Yeah,
to
that
deal
was
with
shortly after Katrina.
That's correct. And he was in one of those areas where their houses flooded, like, I don't know, 4 feet of water. He lost, you know, basically everything.
Yeah.
Josh calls me on the phone. He says, I'm going to be there in the morning. Remember how many roads were closed, guys? Mm-hmm. He drove all the way through the night. I don't remember how long it took him, like 8 hours, 13 hours, something ridiculous. Hitting the roadblock, roads flooded out, find another way. He shows up, he brings one of his workers, 3 fans, chemicals, blades that were sold out all over Houston. He says, I'm here for you. I'm going to make sure you get your gym back up and going. How long do you need? I said, I don't know. He said, I'll take charge. I'll tell you, I was pretty low emotionally and mentally, because I was kind of broken, you know? And just looking at your hard work, and this kid shows up, and that's really what happens behind the scenes.
After you beat him.
Yes. This is the guy that I beat. Some years later, he's the first one at my fucking gym when we were all struggling. Because the truth of the matter is, that's a bonding experience.
Yeah,
which is
man.
why
you earned his respect.
But it's also why it's a bad idea to stop kids from fighting, and people don't understand that. But psychologically speaking, there is a bond that happens. If you and me go out on the floor at Travis Took's gym and we just get after it, even just rolling, right? Like when you finish, there's a letdown, right?
Yeah.
Like a couple of black belts banging it out on the floor, but you know, fat lip, you know, bloody nose, whatever. And someone gets a submission, doesn't matter who gets it, you or me or you, another black belt, 3 black belts, and then, you know,
These two
a
fellas.
salmon colored shirt, which is not as good as a black belt, but it's pretty damn good.
This is peach. This is peach, by the way.
I know salmon.
Hey, if
I know salmon when
But
he
it's
says it.
very cathartic, you
Right.
know?
And,
It's
and-
important.
As you spoke to it as well, you know, a lot of people say, you know, MMA isn't a team sport. But
Shit, show me a champ that doesn't come from a team.
Thank you.
Show me a champ
Thank
that doesn't
you.
have a whole team behind him.
thank
Right
you.
there,
You
that,
was
man.
only you
Not
was,
with a credible promotion.
Nobody does it on their own.
Not with a credible promotion. You might be fighting for, you know, Dickie Two Shoes in Arkansas, where you're fighting your uncle, who also happens to be
have
your
a missed
father.
call from him.
And that's cool, you know. But whatever.
Hey, the
Not a credible
bonds,
promotion. It
the
doesn't happen.
bonds that you make, you know, even just in the training room, because I don't think people realize some of the hardest fights you will ever have come in that training room.
yeah, no doubt.
I don't know if you guys know, there was a boogeyman walking around that went by the name of Jason Sullivan.
Yep.
And when he would touch you, your life changed. Like your life changed, and you really didn't want to spar anymore.
Ooh, I have a story.
Let's hit it.
Jason Sullivan. I heard the name.
Jason
He
Sullivan,
went-
Sully, dude. He had
Sully.
this crazy
Man.
run.
He had the hardest right hand in,
Didn't
in
he have
the
like
history of
3
humans.
fights in a row that were like 15 seconds? Like he
Yeah,
finished.
no, like total of 15 seconds.
Yeah, it was Young Guns. We went to
Dude.
Blackham in Louisiana, and he finished somebody else somewhere.
So, do you remember when he knocked
Who
that
did he
guy
fight?
out in Louisiana?
I don't even remember. So there's some dudes he killed.
So he knocks this guy out in Louisiana.
Well, what happened to him?
He was an older amateur guy at that time too. Like he didn't.
No, I'll tell you what happened.
Oh.
He operates a charity for the families of soldiers who have died while they're in service of our country. Remember the Fallen.
Remember the Fallen.
So Remember the Fallen's the name of Jason Sullivan's charity, and they do motorcycle rides and rifle giveaways.
One of the best just guys.
Could he have made a run as a pro? Do you think?
Depends on the effort he put in.
It depended. At this time, we're talking like late 2000s. This wasn't
maybe early 2000s.
Maybe early. Like it wasn't.
Maybe 99.
The run was different.
So it was totally different competition.
Yeah, it was a totally different competition. It was also a totally different way of fighting. Like
he was what weight class?
It was still
He was,
Faces of
heavyweight
Death
in
era
205.
MMA.
Okay.
Hey, who was it? Peter.
Yeah, I do.
He
Thank
was
you
out
for
of Gracie
catching that,
Barra
Diego.
Katie.
Oh, Sharon?
Sharon
Sharon Peters?
No,
Not her?
Not Sharon
Have you ever met her?
Listen,
So anyway, on to the next
Tell
part
us
of the
more about
show.
Sharon Peters.
Diego needs a refill, guys. Hallerhead refill.
I do.
Let me get you some ice.
Who's got the second bottle of Haller?
Behind the back pass with the ice.
Coming back. There you go. Pour it on up now. So, let me tell you guys two Sully stories. And I'm going to be careful because I know Sully doesn't want me to tell too many stories, and I'm still scared of his right hand.
Don't worry, he's not listening yet.
So Sully
he will
goes, we go to Louisiana, and you were there. So he knocks this kid out in like 8 seconds or 9 seconds or something. He hits him, and the guy melts, right?
Right.
So we're walking away from the cage, and in Louisiana for whatever reason, we were all walking away together, right?
Dude, it was Blackham Coliseum. We were
Blackham
walking on
Coliseum.
hay and like horse shit.
Yes.
We walked away.
That's right. No, we stepped over the horse shit, but we did walk on the hay. That's correct.
You're right.
So the kid, Jason says, he goes, come on, let me get you a beer. The kid goes, I can't. He goes, I've got a fight coming up. No shit. I was walking right next to him. This motherfucker was walking away from the cage after getting slept, and he thought he was walking to the cage to fight.
Amazing.
So that's the kind of power he had in his hand. He had the kind of power that would convert you.
Amazing. Hey, he was one of the first guys who, when I went to Milchids as a wrestler, I'd already had my blue belt at that time when I got there.
See that?
But I
do it.
I struggled to get out of mount. And Jason,
Yeah, it's tough because I've been there myself. Both my knees are on the ground. He's laying under me.
Right.
I have a hard time getting out of mount. I just stay there until the guy
Jason
bucks-
Sullivan
until he bucks me
took
off.
more time to just spending he's like, hey, you're a wrestler, do this.
When you get Eric
Like,
off button.
and
Oh,
it
you
was-
mean out of the bottom mount?
Yeah, the bottom mount.
Oh, I
Like,
was talking about top mount. I have a hard
no.
time getting out of top mount.
Oh, top mount, I'm not moving anywhere.
I'm 270
I'm just going to stay
pounds,
there.
so-
Did you say 270, bro?
Yeah, I was 272, but I'm dropping weight.
Hey, speaking of dropping weight, we're going to have a challenge. I mean, we're all going to make this commitment, right?
Let's make it a little more classy. Let's
is
make it a challenge. Eric, you're out of this. Get out of here.
What are we doing?
See,
Eric,
Eric,
get out of here.
I got
Eric,
about 10 pounds. I got 10 pounds I got to drop.
no. Eric's part of the challenge is to gain 10.
No, hell no, dude.
Yep.
I got 10 pounds to lose.
No, you got to gain 10 pounds, playboy.
Hey, if you got to be too something to do
Hey,
something.
for Eric to lose 10 pounds, all he has to do is take his wallet out of his pocket.
compliment.
Hey!
No.
That's a compliment, Eric.
Nobody's going to want to buy tickets anymore to Fury.
Daddy bankroll.
What they didn't see is they didn't see the Hyundai that he pulled up in.
Yeah.
If they did,
The
they wouldn't
Datsun.
mind
The
paying.
Datsun.
Hey, listen.
86.
Speaking of tickets, my man Lee Charles with the quote of the night. What was it, Ryan?
Hey, Lee Charles, whenever I interviewed him in the cage, I gave him an opportunity to come in and talk.
I love
'cause
Lee, man.
A lot of people came to see Lee tonight, and he had the line of the night. It was hilarious, unintentionally. I was talking to him.
I give the man some credit. It was intentional.
Well,
Maybe it was intentional.
It didn't look, but maybe it was. Maybe it was.
It was hilarious, though.
But he's talking. He's like, yeah, hey, shout out to everybody that came out tonight. We sold a lot of tickets. I'm glad y'all came out. But, it's the fight game. Ain't no refunds. Thank y'all for coming out though. And he bolted. It's like, dude, are you a promoter? That was awesome. Ask Eric.
Hey, guys, no
Eric's really
refunds.
busy. Yeah, Eric's really busy at cage
in the
side.
cage.
I asked Eric, like, dude, did you hear that? Did you promote him or did you prompt him to
No,
say that?
I did not.
No, I didn't hear that at all. But it was hilarious. Line of the night. Sorry, no refunds.
Hey, speaking of Lee Charles, he's interested.
Man, I was really looking forward to seeing him fight tonight.
Fighting
Man.
him, and that would have been a really cool
Yeah.
fight.
It would have.
If you've seen,
It would have been you versus Jeremy Mahone.
and it's never really versus though, because here's the thing. Here's what's funny is in the background. We've all grown so much that nobody's. Hey, Rich, you got to go take a piss or what?
Take your microphone with you, sir.
This piss break brought to you by Space City Collective.
No. By Hallerhead.
Don't get it on the sneaks.
So So anyway, it was going to be a really exciting fight because what we had is what the UFC was founded on, which was Lee Charles, who's 3-0.
Right.
3 knockouts.
Yep.
Right.
Grappler.
Strong finishes. Yeah.
But here's the funny thing about Lee Charles, and let me shine his wheels up a little bit because I like the kid and I like the way he fights. He's got a great attitude, and who doesn't like a knockout artist, right?
No doubt.
So we're going to fight him, but it doesn't mean I can't like him, right?
Right.
Just like Jeremy, Jeremy and I talk all the time outside of the gym. You know what I mean? Like when he was going through his health, stuff or whatever.
Yeah,
and I was
yeah.
like, hey. I said, I'll do whatever. I'll come out there and teach a seminar.
He's doing great
whatever.
now, by the way. It's
and
fucking
the
awesome.
gym was good, though. Yeah, and he is doing good. He's a savage, man.
Beast.
And he's also your no-gi
He's my
155
submission
pound
hunter
champ, I
champion.
believe. Yeah, no-gi submission hunter. Submission only champ. And he has a
Masters.
match coming up.
Masters champ.
And he has a match coming
Mike
up.
Trin.
Yeah.
going against Mike
Against
Trin.
Mike Trin from Mike Trin's Seafood.
Listen, that's
which I've heard is
not
pretty
a
good.
submission hunter.
I was going to say that's not a
That's
submission
not a
hunter
submission
pro.
hunter match. So
That may or may not happen. We don't know. We don't.
that's none of my business what
What were
goes
y'all
on
talking
outside.
about? I said that Jeremy Mahon's your current champ. That's what I said. What did y'all say?
He is.
So listen,
You
no.
went off into where he was going to be. He's
no.
Shout out to the head gorilla.
So what I was going to say is the fight, Lee Charles and Philippe Rocha, it's what the UFC was founded on, right? Striker versus a grappler. Does a karate guy beat a wrestler?
Styles make fights.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's really neat. It was a really compelling match because you got Philippe, who's an absolute juggernaut, and the guy's got things like belly-to-belly knee bar submissions against quality opponents. The guy that he submitted with the belly-to-belly knee bar is a way underrated fighter. Clay?
Yeah.
Clay's a fucking savage.
Yeah, no doubt.
He's strong. He's fast. He's got hands the size of garbage can lids. He's got a chin. His record does not reflect his skill. And
Looks
he
a
won-
little
and-
bit like MGK.
And he won the fight. Yeah,
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he's MGK.
Yeah, he does.
And he won the fight in Louisiana, and he just didn't get it. But he won the fight. That was my opinion. Should have been stopped in the first round. Anyway, but you had a striker versus a grappler. You had a guy that's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, world-class ground game, and then you had a guy that is touching people, and every time he hits them, they go to sleep, right? So 3 first-round finishes for Philippe Rocha, all submissions. 3 finishes for Lee Charles, all knockouts.
All knockouts, yep.
Who doesn't love that? I mean, you got to love that as a fan, so forget me being Philippe's coach. Let's just say that's an exciting fight, period.
And you talk about Lee real quick. You were talking about Byron and his work schedule and what he does. So people don't know. So Lee works his ass off. He's a garbage man. And can
you imagine talking
Was it
shit to
Jeremy
him?
that told us on last
so,
week?
So Saturday morning.
Can you imagine talking shit to Lee?
Good
You're like,
luck.
hey, don't throw my cans down like that.
Hey, so
Oh, dude, get your
Saturday-
ass
Don't throw your
knocked
wife
out.
down like that.
Saturday morning for weigh-ins, Lee gets up, runs his route, leaves his route on break, his lunch break to come hop in and do weigh-ins,
Man.
goes
See?
back out and finishes his route.
That's
Nothing
commitment, man.
but respect
That's
for that,
commitment.
man.
But you see what I'm saying about guys that it's like the exterminator that
Right.
got stung by a bunch
Right.
of wasps.
Well, I would have liked to see the exterminator fight.
Hey, that's his name. There's
Exterminator.
no way he's going back.
Or would he have showed up looking
Sting.
Looking
His
like-
name is Sting.
he would have showed up looking like Martin from versus Tommy Hearns.
Looking like Will Smith on that white thing,
On the
whatever,
romantic drama.
with the girl,
Yeah.
the show that he was on.
Hey,
Back
before-
before he was slapping people
Yeah.
and losing roles. Anyway,
Before we go any further, I just want to recap these fights real quick.
with those
before we get
soft-ass
going.
slaps.
Hey, Marco Soto defeated Dustin Sheffield by rear naked choke.
I think that was a bad call.
It was a bad call for sure. Miles Banks defeated Randy Gonzalez, but by TKO. Donovan Manuel defeated Noah Beatty. Josh Henderson defeats Thomas Muniz. Trent Soto defeats Augustin Ramirez. And Joel Sanchez defeats Caleb Yarbrough. I did leave off Michael Capone's victory, and I want to apologize. I did something tonight that I have never done in my history as being a photographer. For
Make a
MMA.
mistake.
I deleted his entire fucking fight before I uploaded it.
Good
I've
job, Rich.
never done
wow.
that in my life. I've never made that mistake.
That's respectable.
And so I
gotta
want
work
to
towards
apologize to Michael.
Hey, his
He
pictures
can
are
still
available
get-
at
he can still get some
mikethetruth.com.
amazing pictures at mikethetruth.com. We here at Fury will not have your pictures. I have never done that. And tonight I have no I have no.
I
excuse.
saw when you
Hard
passed off your hard drive to your assistant. Maybe it was something he did.
Maybe. My
He had a
non-existent-
good. He had a back and forth fight.
It was a great fight. I got some killer.
It
images
really
that I
was.
remember
so,
during the fight.
so Jeremiah
It
probably
was
got some
probably
good
Paul.
video.
Yeah,
Hogan's
for sure.
fault.
Jeremiah got some video. We'll make sure that we
We'll,
get some cool stuff.
yeah, we'll figure out how to
And
produce
get-
something
and
for
get
you.
taken
Golden
care of,
throat
man. But
chama.
I just wanted to apologize. That's not something that I traditionally do.
Oh, he
I mean,
fucks
that's
up
not
all
that-
the time.
I don't traditionally do that.
Yeah.
Traditionally, I
fuck
don't
up on
delete
others.
your photos
I fuck up
before
on other
uploading them.
things.
I took
Other
them all.
things. Yeah.
I opened the door to the dark room and overexposed all of your film.
Sure.
My mistake.
For sure. Hey, Diego, how are we looking on time?
We're good. We're good.
Let's
That
keep
does
talking.
not give us
Plenty.
any answer.
About 30 minutes.
That gave us
Half
no
hour.
answer. No answer.
We're
Hey,
good.
So Drew, before we go further, man, since we don't have a
Try
lot
to
of
sneak
guests
off to
on
the
our
bathroom,
show.
also known as my office.
Hey, I'd like to talk a little bit about how you got started in MMA and why you got started in MMA.
Cool. I'll tell you in 1 second.
Let me hear it. Is he gonna go?
He's
gotta
got to
go
go. He's got to go visit
that
your
way.
office.
There, over there,
This,
Drew.
This
there's-
bathroom break is brought to
There's
you
another
by
bathroom
guys
over
at
there.
Official
Howlerhead.
Athlete. Make sure you check those guys out. Also, Howlerhead Whiskey. Amazing whiskey, guys. You know, the biggest sponsor on our show. We love these guys very much. Great drinks. Sheath underwear. I look so good in my sheath underwear, and so do our ring girls. Hey, shout out to our ring girls tonight. Sherry Hart. And we got a new ring girl, Amanda. Amanda, I cannot say your last name. I'm so sorry. I have no clue how you say your last name, but I'm going to spell it. Cardella.
That's the worst spelling I've ever heard.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I try really, really hard. Really hard.
But Amanda was our new ring girl, and she
Yeah.
did great. She did good.
Yeah, she did awesome.
She seemed to own the cage when she was out there.
Sherry Hart as well.
A lot of girls, whenever they come in, it's their first time. They're
Oh, yeah.
timid. They walk flat-footed. They seem a little
Hey,
nervous or whatever.
speaking of
but
nervous-
she got her stuff in.
Speaking of nervous, we got a big ass party coming up.
Oh, yeah?
626 Fury FC. 65.
I'm not nervous about that. Are you?
65.
I'm nervous about how much we're gonna party out
We
there
are
in New
hitting
Orleans.
Hey.
New Orleans, the land
the
of
UFC
beer, crawfish,
God.
beads, and
Nothing
booze.
to be
We are gonna
nervous
be
about
there.
at all, man. We're gonna go tear up New Orleans and own that shit, Fury
My
FC
hometown.
style, man.
I'm so excited to go back. And now that Drew has not washed his hands and has come back to grab the microphone, Drew, check. Give us a little background, man. Tell us how you got started in MMA and why.
Do you really want to know how?
Yeah,
I
we
got
actually do, man.
started? All right. Do you have 45 minutes?
Come on,
All right,
Condensed
it'll be my
version.
turn.
go that way.
I was beaten as a child.
So no. So this is kind of an interesting story because Bob Perez, Derek Lewis's coach, well, many people's coach,
Crew
but,
Bob. Shout out to Crew Bob.
So Bob was asking me. He said, Drew. He said, I was telling somebody. He said, is it true that you used to play soccer? And I said, yeah, that's all I played, man. I played soccer, football. Yes, to you.
Football.
You know, not that I'm saying anything, but
Wait,
To me only. How about Diego?
not Rich. Diego, no,
wait,
Diego calls it
My
soccer.
Puerto Rican culture is baseball, man.
Yes, baseball.
Yeah, so I'm the
But it's football,
I'm the
you-
football guy.
Yes.
Okay.
So, anyway, so there I am playing football. No.
Football.
I played soccer from the time I was like 5 years old or whatever. My parents put me in the youth program, through college. So Bob goes, what did you weigh when you played soccer? And you can tell the story's great, Diego, because they're both texting each other right now, laughing at me.
No.
So
I'm actually building a fight.
said-
I'm answering fight matchups.
he said, I'm just messing with you. He said, what did you weigh? And I was like, about 245 or whatever. And he was like, see, I told you he was the fucking biggest soccer player ever. And so, yeah, that's true. So I played soccer. Well, I had a series of, injuries. I raced bicycles for a short while, and then I wanted to compete real bad. And I was a partner in Sonic drive-ins and just working. And I wanted to compete. Like, I'm super competitive. I compete with my kids. I compete with Chris. Doesn't matter. We'll be playing Uno during fucking lunch while we're eating sandwiches, and I'll be trying to beat her. And I tried to race bicycles. So I bought a bicycle, but the discs in my neck were too messed up, which I already knew, so I couldn't keep my head up. And I tried to play soccer. My back was too messed up, so I couldn't play soccer. I already had a surgery and spent a year in a brace and everything like that. And I was watching the UFC, and I said, that's it. I'm going to fight. So I just started looking for a place to train, and I said, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fight. Because if your body's fucked up, what better thing to do
Then fight.
than to fight? I mean,
Yeah, it
that's
makes a
just
lot
good
of sense.
sense right there. So it's like Travis Took said. He said, how are you doing? I go, no worse. He goes, that's a good day for a black belt.
Yeah.
True.
Am I right?
That's
Yeah.
very true.
So anyway, that was how I got into it. And I started with, back up.
So I only missed the first part of the answer.
Yeah, we just started.
Wayne, you have missed
guys-
nothing.
Okay, all right.
He hasn't.
That's it. I'm out of here. So you guys know who Phil Cardella is? One of the OGs of Texas and of mixed martial arts.
sure.
So Phil was, I believe, a Helson Gracie blue belt in '98 when I think it was '98 when I first met him at Baylor. And he said, "Do you want to do jiu-jitsu?" And I was like, "Sure."
What is
I
that?
also want to do coke, but it doesn't mean we're going to do it, right? So he goes, "It's this," and he arm bars me. I was like, "Right on." That was my first introduction to it. I didn't get serious until 05, I think. And so then I started training, and then I met Rich, and my life changed for the worse. And no,
Our hair,
So that- I
our
started
fucking
fighting.
hair left for sure.
but yeah, our hair left collectively. Mine went to my back. His went home. So
on my front.
yeah.
No respect. No respect.
I started fighting, and I really wanted to go further with it than I did. But obviously, my body wasn't up for it. I had another surgery, and I couldn't walk for like 5.5 months, basically, and a couple of other injuries. But if you guys notice my elbows, they don't straighten out. So that was that. So I decided I'll just coach. You know, I'll be like a dad. You know,
You don't need elbows for coaching.
You guys know, you ever watch the dads that have kids playing football? Not football. And
But like American style
there's-
football.
Yeah. There's nothing more obnoxious than parents in sports. Like, you
That's
ever
the
want to see
truth.
the worst
Yes.
of somebody? Watch a parent who's got a
man.
kid in sport. You'll see
He goes,
all the
one thing to
patheticness that's ever existed.
Living vicariously through their
vicariously
kids.
through their kids
Like,
'cause they
dude, I
suck
know a
to
lot
be
of
on.
them. I know a lot of them.
And all they do, I mean, they're fucking getting into arguments with other 8-year-olds and shit. You fouled my son. And they're like, come over here and try it.
It's terrible.
It's pitiful.
Been there.
Back to your story, Drew.
Drew, what's more nerve wracking? You fighting or walking out with your students as they're getting ready to fight?
For me, it's my students.
Yeah.
We talked about the nerves the other day. Was it you that I talked
Yeah,
to?
yeah, we were talking about
God.
that. As a fighter, you were saying like everything that goes into that lead up, like the build up to the fight, like all the training, and then like whenever fight day comes, like you think you're ready until fight day, and fight day happens, you're like, holy shit, I'm about to get in a fight, and like the nerves kick in, and you feel sick to your stomach and all that good stuff. And then for you, because you win. Once you win, it's over. It's like, all right, let's do it again.
do it again.
Hey, speaking of that, I don't think we talked about this on the phone the other day. I don't think everybody necessarily knows that you were the caliber of fighter that you were. I mean, not that you're not anymore, but you kind of suck now.
No, he's not.
I'm old.
not anymore.
I'm just old.
He rolled last week and still complaining about his back.
So,
My back hurts.
He only does it because he hears everybody else saying it, so he thinks that's what you're supposed to do.
No.
His back doesn't really hurt. He just feels bad for submitting everybody.
Here's the truth. So I remember when this guy was fighting. I don't remember the card or whatever, but he was fighting. And was it your opponent that backed out first?
On which card?
The one where you
He doesn't
cut weight
remember. He
twice
just
in
said
one
that.
day. You cut weight twice in one day to fight for the title.
No,
You cut weight. Your opponent was out.
he
you,
fell out.
You gained all your weight. You started drinking, eating fucking pizza or whatever, Mexican pizza from Taco Bell, whatever y'all eat. And he does that, and it's made from tortillas. Guys.
We're so canceled.
Let me talk to my white people real quick,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, I'm here.
So it's what
I'm
it's
here.
basically it's like a tortilla,
Right,
and then
tortilla,
salsa,
meat,
and
and
then like
cheese.
Mexican
Tortilla.
cheese.
Sporting my summer tan. He's
Excuse me,
not talking for
tortilla.
me right now. Okay.
So
Was this the Sam Guardiola fight, or was this the
So
Jacob
then,
Capelli fight?
Eric, but guys don't know. No, but this is important because fighters that are fighting for him right now, they may not think he knows this. They think he's like other promoters, and they're like, whatever. And fucking Eric cuts weight, goes up to the fight. His opponent backs out, pulls out, doesn't show, whatever it is, puts his weight back on. Another guy's misses weight. They said, "Do you want to take the title fight?" Eric goes, "Fucking yeah." He stays up till like 4 a.m. cutting. 4:15 a.m. was when he finished cutting weight again.
That sounds like Eric Garcia.
And he fucking cuts like 16 pounds for this again. And if you've ever cut weight and put it back on, your body releases an anti-diuretic, which makes it very difficult to cut. So this dude's killing himself. No fucking sleep because he's that fucking hungry for the opportunity to take a title home. Recuts all the weight. Fucking goes out there. Was it your opponent that didn't make weight then or something? What happened? You did what they didn't make? I don't remember what happened.
No, so it was a legacy fight. It was Colton England, and his opponent didn't make weight.
I know, but after that, you won, right?
Yeah.
You won the belt.
I won, but I didn't win the belt because I didn't make the 155 even.
Because you were like 56 or something.
56.
Yeah.
After all that, you were 1 pound
here's
away.
the thing. I know hopefully some of you fighters go back and watch this, because when you think that he doesn't understand, one of the reasons that I was excited about, working with him is because of the fact
Diego, are you trying to say 15 fucking over there?
he does understand.
I asked you earlier.
He knows what it's like to cut.
And now
He
it's a
knows it
secret.
sucks.
He's got to throw hand signals at us now.
He knows what it's like to win, lose, everything else.
It's hard, man. And speaking of that, like, this was a really hard week for us. And that's why, like, when we opened this up and we asked you about the level of competition and what Fury is as an amateur promotion, a pro promotion, like, we strive to build the best promotion for fighters, amateurs, pros, real fighters that want to fight and make it to the next level. We want to be there and be the guys that push you through. So we lost so many fights over the last 2 weeks, and is it something that it's not something we're doing, but what's going on in the fight community? Are there too many options with new promotions?
No. I'll tell you what it is. It's okay, so we have to go a little bit deeper. We have to go into the psychology of humanity to understand exactly why, in my opinion, which is the correct opinion, this is happening. But
Diego, how long do we have again?
No, real quick.
so the further that, so here's what happens. The further you get from the source, the more diluted it becomes, right? Water, anything.
Right.
Okay. Let's go back to 2005, when I was training, there was like one promotion, I think, Saul Solis, rest in peace.
Right. Renegade.
And it was like, man,
Renegades,
you had to fucking put it.
Love
Didn't
that.
matter. My debut amateur sanctioned bout, the guy was 13 pounds overweight. Fucking irrelevant.
Didn't matter.
Right? Didn't
matter.
irrelevant. You're
There
gonna
was
fight.
no TDLR.
There's no other fight going to come up anyway. You know what
Was
I mean?
there a TDLR? No TDLR.
Probably, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, there was.
I mean, there was,
sanctioning
but
body.
was it relevant to this? Probably not.
It wasn't like it is now. Like they made
Right,
it
it's very
around, but
different.
It wasn't like it is now.
But here's the thing. So back then there was like 5 gyms of repute in
Right.
all of the greater Houston area, maybe.
Okay.
And you had to drive an hour any direction that you went.
Five's generous.
Refill Diego.
Well, what's happened
pretty
is
generous.
the UFC is on TV, and it's become one of the biggest sports, so it generates interest. So more people become interested, you draw on a wider base. Well, the very first people that come to it are always going to be your most pure at heart. You don't market a BJJ gym in 1995. You just open it, and there's going to be people that come, and nobody else is coming.
Right.
If you advertised it, if you advertised Fury Fighting Championship in 1995, Eric, nobody would fucking come out to watch it. Nobody would fight on it, right? Same thing with the BJJ gym. It wasn't going to happen because of the fact that publicity wasn't there. Well, as the interest and the status has grown, you're drawing in people that are further and further away from the hub or the source of the purest, because those people that came to the gym in 95, they weren't going to leave. You couldn't beat them out the door. You would have to physically beat them up and throw them out the door, right? Same thing goes in fighting. So with your organization, for example, the fights that drop out on this card, part of it just comes from the fact that you're drawing in a wider fan base. You're drawing in more people. You're drawing in guys that work a job and have their kids and their wife, and they really want to fight. But the point is, it's less pure. There's less of a driving force. You're getting farther away from it. Not you, but I mean, MMA as a whole is becoming more popular, which means more people are interested when it's farther from the purists. And so when you do that, you're going to, by default, draw in people who are less committed and less serious. And I'm not even saying they're making the wrong choice. Like, if you got a career and a fucking wife at home and shit, don't go get your job broke if you're not ready.
You got to do it right for you.
But that's still the case. That's what's happening. That's why you see that. And let's not pretend this is exclusive to Fury. Come on.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we
Yeah.
fought for a lot of promotions, so let's not be silly and be like, oh, it's just this. Come on, man. This is the question I'd ask somebody if I was in your shoes. If they have a problem with your show, I would ask, okay, which one is better? Tell me so that I can take something from it, right? Because we're martial artists, we're always trying to learn.
And that's all we want to do is learn.
Right, so if
Get
somebody's
better.
doing something better, tell me so that I can adopt it, which you will, right? Like, if someone's like, oh, hey, Eric, this is a better idea, and it's a better idea, you'll be like, sweet. You're not going to be mad, you know?
No.
I don't.
But there's a thing. Here's a weird, let me finish this thought real quick.
Good luck.
Weird thing.
Good luck, Rich.
One of the things you have to understand is we're business partners, right? Like, you're with another affiliation, Rich, you're with another group that is one of them that's becoming one of the most prolific gyms, right, for mixed martial arts. And so we fight your guys, and there's only a handful of gyms that are mixed martial arts first, which we're one.
Right.
You know, you guys have a part of a group that's one. And we're all business partners. That's what's happening, right? So, like, the last thing I want to do is shit on your gym, because if I say your gym sucks and then we fight somebody from your gym and we lose, we look
Yeah,
shit.
who did you beat? Yeah.
If we say that your gym sucks and we beat them, we just took the
You
sign off
beat
of our
nobody.
win.
You beat nobody, right?
Well, the same thing applies for the promotion. In this case, I'm talking about Fury, right? If I shit on Fury, it makes my guys look worse, right? You see what I'm saying? Likewise, if Eric gets on there, he's like, man, Drew's guys ain't shit, then it makes his card look worse. We're all business partners, whether we like it or not. We may be fighting each other. The gym that I fought the most over the last 10 years is Metro Fight Club with Saul Solis at the helm. Saul Solis is the first one to call me on the phone when the lockdown hit and offer me free help, free legal advice, free everything. Because at the end of the day, we really are partners. We might be fighting in the cage, but we're not enemies. We're partners. So the more I build you up, and the more I build you up.
If he's got nobody for his guys to fight, what does he have?
But you want the guys to be good. I mean, they are good, but the point is you don't want to tear them down.
Right.
If you
No, of
tear
course
down-
not.
If you tear down the other gyms, then it makes you look bad. If you tear down the promotion, it makes you look bad. If you raise your hand in the air and you want me to call on you, it makes you look bad. Okay, go ahead, Rich.
Say my name. Say my name. Say my name.
Tag him in.
Rich,
All right,
Rich,
tag
you're
Rich
next.
in.
We got a
Hey,
question,
guys,
Rich.
So we only have a few minutes
My
left.
point is business partners. Go.
We only have a few minutes left from this, and I want to ask this of every person we have come on. You know, we are, we are H-Town MMA as our home base, and no matter where we go, no matter how big Fury gets, Houston will always be our home. Drew, what is your
Home.
top? What is your? It's not Houston.
Poland.
It's like chemo. What
Poland.
what is your favorite memory when it comes to Houston MMA?
Me winning, obviously.
That's
No, just kidding.
that's your, hey, that's one of my top memories of you.
You know what? No,
Kidding, not kidding.
I'm a homer for my guys. Nico's the team captain. I love the victories that he's had. I love the victories that Jeremy Hardy's had, Mikey Patterson, these guys, Philippe's win.
Jeremy Hardy.
But let's go bigger for Houston MMA, man. So Derek Lewis is a guy that I knew when he was an amateur. I knew Derek, I went out and trained with him. He broke my ribs. He dropped me. He did all those things. He's a meanie. Derek's as nice a guy as you could meet. He's exactly the way he seems on TV. Like, there's no fake in that dude.
When his balls are hot, his balls are really hot. He's not thinking of a catchphrase.
I fucking love every moment of Derek Lewis's success.
Likewise, yeah.
Personally, for me. And it goes a little deeper because Derek was in a bad spot. I don't want to turn the attention away from that.
No, of course, yeah.
The point is that I've known him and I knew of him through the journey. And I remember when he left town. I remember when he came back into town and decided he was just going to stick with Crew Bob and all that. I love every moment that Derek has. And I don't give a damn if he loses or wins because Derek has built something for his
our guy.
family.
He's our
But
guy,
He built something
yeah.
for his family.
Yeah.
That dude came from nothing, man. He had nothing. He was put in prison where anybody else would have got out.
Right.
I love everything Derek Lewis does. Those are some of my favorite moments outside of my own guys from my gym. I love Derek. I love what he does.
Hey guys, but before we get out of here, make sure we hit our sponsors again one more time, guys. Howlerhead Whiskey. Check them out. Amazing.
Really do
show.
check out
This is what
Howlerhead
we are-
Whiskey.
This is what we are drinking every show, powering us through the show every time.
Yep.
Space City Collective, the best spot to get all of your kicks,
dude.
whether it's kicks, t-shirts, clothes, whatever you want. Check out Christian and his brother out there, man. Space City _Collective on Instagram. They are amazing. Official Clean Athlete, Kimura Tattoo, Bump Box, Sheath Underwear. And hey, one more thing, Drew. I just want to tell you, man.
Aces
Private
Performance
label.
Exhaust.
Performance exhaust, guys. My bad. I almost
Private
forgot that
label.
one. Private label bags. Amazing.
Private label.
Drew, I just want to make sure, man, that I let you know again. I have watched you from an amateur fighter, a guy who went out there when he could have easily backed out of many, many fights, whether it was pain, sickness, not feeling well, to becoming this coach who has not just built a gym, but built a family for many young men and women to go and train and get better in life, and let alone the ability to fight. And you have created one of the mainstay gyms in one of the hardest towns to be successful in. And it's all goes back to who you are as a person. And I just want to thank you for being not just a friend, man, a brother for a long, long time. And dude, you are amazing. And I hope as much as your fighters, as great as they're doing, people realize just how amazing of a person you are, you asshole.
That's better. There we go.
That was what we were waiting
Do with all
for.
that other
He was
shit.
about to tear up, so thank you.
I didn't want it to get too icky there, man. But
No.
I want you to know that, man. I've known you
we
longer
appreciate
than almost
you, man.
anybody
For
in this
real,
game.
A lot, man.
and your team, we know Eric and I are building cards. You're probably the first, maybe the second text of hey, who do you got, Drew? Because I know I'm going to get a list. And they're going to
You're
show
going
up.
to have somebody from
Hey,
him.
you know what? Before we sign off, thank you for all the opportunities because I believed in what you guys were doing, not based on fame or recognition, but based on who you are, right? Like we have talked about that, the character of a man.
We've been on this ride together, man. We've been on this ride together.
No doubt.
And so I'm grateful for the opportunities because there's good fighters all over the country that are fucking training in some hole and putting on shows in the local horse arena. So it's really cool to have a top flight show where I can give my guys the shine that they deserve. And I appreciate you guys always looking out and, being willing to put us on the show because you don't have to. There's plenty of fighters.
Guys, Drew, where can they learn more about your facility?
Inside it.
If they had to seek you out online to get the address.
13001 Delaney Road, Lamar. No. Now, ACS Mixed Martial Arts. It's ACSMMATX.com is my gym. But
Texas City.
yeah, we're down in Texas City, close to Galveston, close to the water.
Awesome.
But I don't know. There's something. The biggest thing for me at my gym is, and I tell everybody this, is building men or women before we build fighters.
Mm-hmm.
I will never, ever fucking corner somebody to a title belt and millions of dollars at the cost of their health or them as a person. Ever. I just don't want it. Not interested in it. It's not something that I want. And I love the team that we have because of who the guys and the girls choose to be. And that's what makes it most special because if you have to be there every day and deal with those people, you want to be people you want to be around.
That's 100%.
And so it's not just the coach.
And that's in anything, right? Work,
Yeah.
training, everything.
Hey, so again, Drew, thank you so much, man, for being on this show.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you, Diego. Awesome job as always. El Jefe, Eric Garcia. This is your boy, Richard Burmaster. And once again, Wayne Leger. Please get us out of here, man.
Hey, guys, the time for talk is over. This has been Fury Unleashed.
It is unleashed.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest. And now, make some noise because the time for talk is over. It's time to unleash the Fury!